One more map to be played here for the ESL Pro League. It has been a wild ride between G2 and Dignitas, seeing G2 once again find their footing on Cobblestone in their T side. 5 rounds to 10 going into their attacking side, and then just walk through looking very medieval with their assault. Now, I've got myself, Chad, and Lauren to hang out and talk about our next map. It's Dust2. We've seen it played once already, and now we get to see it again, this time with 2 different sides. We were very kind of displeased with Virtus.Pro's disjointed attack. I'm sure we'll be seeing much more from the French side, at least on their T side. We'll see what Dignitas can do. Now, opening thoughts, Dignitas, again, rematch versus G2, same maps. We had this discussion about Cobblestone. You suggested that the mind games might be playing into it, Chad. Do you think, I can't help but feel you start second-guessing decisions. You just sit there and you go, well, we did this last time and it worked, but now they know it, and you start, do you think they're going to be faltering coming into Dust2?
Yeah, you obviously like alter it a little bit. Yeah. You have to. You can't go into the same game plan exactly. If you do, you're pretty ballsy. And it, you know, that's probably the better play. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was a good game regardless.
It was. And sorry, I just want to start a fun debate. I had a sudden brainchild. I was sitting there, I was looking at Lauren, I was looking at Chad, and I was like, I know what we're going to do. Lauren doesn't like Dust2. She doesn't like to play it.
No.
Why? No.
I think it's boring.
No.
What about it's boring?
Yeah, go.
There's only so many times you can be excited by taking mid.
The screens think it's boring too.
Wow, the screen's gone black with disappointment, and you're not liking Dust2.
Yeah, this is fun.
It's literally just personal. I find it really boring, literally on the T side, just people just taking mid control consistently, building up. I think there is prowess to it. I just don't think that at any other level than the highest tier, you're going to see anything exciting from it.
I agree. I think when you default on this map, it can be relatively boring because you're basically just going through the
motions.
Yeah, like you smoke Xbox, you flash, you get short control, you wait for utility, then you execute either mid or short. That's basically it. But I think I like Dust2 as a spawn-based map. Teams taking the long spawn 95% of the time and just taking battles and having really good fights at long. The CTs, they either go all in or they fall back, and it's great to see the decision-making. And I think with spawn-based Counter-Strike, if you start Dust2 as a spawn-based map, then you can just really play around how the CTs have to adapt. You go, okay, well, maybe they'll play retake this time, so now we're just going to go straight out, straight into a B rush, or maybe they're going to put all 3 members at long, and we'll do a really quick up cat to A kind of setup. So. Yeah.
Now you go.
Personally, for me, the weird thing is that I don't find the T side that exciting, apart from maybe nice spawn play. But then for me, I find CT side Dust2 far more interesting than most other maps to a degree, because there's teams trying to adapt and change things. Initially, when the old Existence roster, for example, was one of the first teams to kind of dabble with that B side aggression, pushing 2 players into the B tunnels to really redefine the map. I found that incredibly enthralling to watch. I think that sort of thing is very exciting. But there's only so many ways you can redo this map these days. I find it's come down to very small nuances, which, again, can be really exciting when it works out, like the stacks now with the AWPing, different ways of playing it out, but it's so rare. Like, I'd love to see maybe the skybox opened up on the B side, so you could actually see, like the old source plays, you could smoke over the top, do different things almost, just something a little new. I still feel it's just a little bit static.
Now, you were talking about B side, you're suggesting there is some innovation towards B. Used to be, of course. The skybox is probably a big factor. You can't throw it from the T-spawn, is that what you're suggesting? Okay. But what I wanted to ask you, Chad, is for these B takes, is there a team that springs to mind, or is there a strat that springs to mind to hit B more often? Because it does seem like a rarity. Is there anyone that you looked at when you were trying to build your Dust2 strats? Is there a B take?
FaZe had a really good one where they, I know you don't really think of FaZe in strategy.
Yeah, sure, maybe not.
But they did a default weighted out utility, and then they just used the AWPs to cover them as they walked into the B site, and then just use a couple of simple Molotovs and just explode. Yeah, just late round. We're saying they do just off a default, where most teams would default go out mid or go short. They would go back to B with numbers, they'd walk in with the AWP covering them, use 1 or 2 Molotovs and explode into the site and just straight out. I thought that was a really good way of doing it. In terms of doing it earlier in the round, or say quicker, you always need your upper dark player to be throwing a lurk smoke, and that kind of smoke just in front of the tunnels to make the CTs think that you could be potentially coming in.
Okay.
You set a precedent. Once that precedent's set, you can do it's like an explosion. It's a term I coined from Fallen, where you just explode from behind that smoke into the site with lots of numbers, and they're not expecting it. They're just thinking you're doing it default like normal.
Yeah, and I think teams like FaZe really suit that style, just because they have so much aim to back it up. You know what I mean? You walk out of a smoke, in theory, you should be at somewhat of a disadvantage. Someone's going to be staring at it. But then you throw in someone like Rain, AZ, you're going to have these crazy players coming out of it. And I think that you mentioned lurking on this map as something to stand out, especially in that upper B area, or in the upper tunnel, should I say. Shox, I think, has one of those phenomenal abilities, especially on this, to really become part of that role, which you don't normally put him towards, I don't think, especially. But I think Dust2 on the T side, his lurking in mid especially, he is so damn good at it. I'm going to keep my eye on it personally on the T side, because I think he has big power towards that as well as creating opportunities.
Okay, I like this. And what also I think is really interesting is that we always attribute Dust2, I've said it 1,000 times, to this aim-based style. So you'd assume G2, especially because we just sat there on Cobblestone singing the praises of their T-side where they do just win aim duels. However, you know, I'll never forget that Mouse Sports was at 16-1, where they did just get completely rolled on Dust2. And so there is some chinks to G2's armor on Dust2. But I think already we have to start probing for predictions. Lauren, you make a point and then throw me a name.
Yeah, I think we've avoided Cajun B throughout this. He's going to be a big name to come up, and I'm sure they'll highlight it on the desk there. A big swing factor for Dig, and I think that it will be G2's game, but I think Cajun B, if he plays a big role, could bring it closer.
Especially not forgetting Astralis and their old Dust2 gaming. What do you got for me?
I'm going to stick with G2. I think Cajun was almost a non-factor in that Cobble game, so if he's not firing, they basically relied on config for that whole map. I think that with that in mind, you should see G2 take it pretty easily.
Should, being the operative word. Okay, so it does look like we're looking towards the French side. It will be Dignitas to try and break this hell they've been living in as they've conceded 3 maps back-to-back versus these squads, both here at the Pro League and, of course, at Starladder. For now, though, it's back to your casters. It's Henry G and Sadakis to guide us through our final map of the night. What are you thinking, boys?
I don't really think. I just sit and talk about what happens in the kill feed, Alex.
And what a good job you do.
Thank you. I try my hardest.
Well, then, yeah, G2 probably is their best map historically, I would say, especially in recent form as well. We did see them in Mo and Kiev looking a little bit caged on the CD side. We're known for that hard aggression, going in and finding the kills. That's when they really get in the zone. That's when they're confident. Sometimes they can be rattled, though, and not really go for it. And that's when you see them dropping rounds. Especially against Envious, that was quite evident. You can see they're probably thinking, oh, they know what we do. They're going to be able to shut it down. Let's hold back. And when they do get it, though, and they're firing on cylinders, everyone's hitting their shots, that's when they're most deadly. And that's when they'll be pushing and finding the aggression and actually shutting down terrorist teams. They'll be more on the offense, and that's what is really exciting to watch. But still, going to be a good game here. Lauren made a good point with Cajun being the amazing AWPer on this map. He actually was the main AWPer for Astralis when he was in this team, in that team, I should say. And that's when he actually famed that car position so well for so many other AWPers as well. It seems like a lot of people trying to replicate his success in that position. But it's going to be 5-star farmer for the CTs, and a nice long take on the looks of things from Body to kick things off. Not going to be going in super fast. And normally G2, they actually do that B take time and time again. This time they're focusing towards long.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of pressure to put onto the CTs and try and take this position away. Does mean Catwalk's open for availability for rotation, but they're setting a lurk out of middle right now, and that's going to be Shox who finds MSL, but unfortunately, he's lost all his team, so I admire the effort in Shox trying to cut off Cat. That way you don't need to take it directly and win the long battle with the Deagle up as well. But it all falls apart, and Dignitas had a good strength position out toward long. They've got the bomb covered off, and look at the mini-map. They're all huddling the bomb. They're worshipping the bomb.
Yeah, so the point I was making is G2 almost always go towards B on their T-pistol and Dust2. I think it's been quite well telegraphed, and that's what they go for. It's always screaming the Deagle. This time they had a decent spot towards long, waiting for the initial nades, but Shoxy, P2000, definitely got the range to work with. It's such a difficult shot with that pistol. As soon as Magisvoy spots him, he doesn't need to fate anymore, doesn't even need to risk going down and make it a possibility for a player like Shox to get into this. And it will be him edging in now. 45 seconds, needs to find 1 kill. There's no real way Dignitas can lose this. They have 1 sacrificial player who goes down, and then the other 2 should be striking as soon as Shoxy tries to go for that bomb. Just don't give anything until he's fully committed. So just what you can see him jumping with the X-ray right now, jumping, just trying to get some intel. And he'll probably be saying at the moment, he's not coming this way, he's not coming. And that's why they've got a little boost going towards the blue box as well, but now he has been spotted. They can reposition, Shox into a hell of a shot there. There it is. As soon as one goes down, they're facing at the same time, giving him 2 targets and shutting the situation down. The way they were set up, it was almost impossible for them to lose that round. Losing 1 player was always likely to be a possibility with Shoxy and the aggressor there, but still, decent recovery. And Dignitas take the pistol here. So G2 focusing towards long. Interesting, they didn't stick their usual tactic. Maybe we did see players on Envious shut it down with that quick smoke at the start of the round and then locking them out, rotating players over. So I guess that's what they're trying to bring to the game now, have a bit more depth with the pistols.
Yeah, try something out. I mean, we know this map. That's actually pretty sick.
Shoxy's back down to normal ping now, so I think business will be
game on.
Resumed.
It's game on.
Yeah.
Poor Dignitas. I feel for you. That's lovely. To be fair, I mean, Danish teams are very good on this. Cajun's very good on this map, but Smith is a player that seems to have more impact on this map than any other. I had a lengthy discussion with him about his role in the team and, you know, the flack that he receives. And he obviously had that long, lengthy interview on Vakarim where he basically said, you know, I don't mind. Obviously, we're talking over an anti-eco at this point down there. The Swarm Cajun B, though, Tech9 is ominous. And actually, Body,
there it
Scream
is.
Missing shots. That's not common. It's going to put them in an odd position here. And Rubino going down. They're going to pull this off. It's just MSL remaining. I thought we had room to talk about Smiths and his lovely storytelling that he did. But Body's going to close that off. It goes 1-1. G2 pull it back, so never mind the pistol. Shox. Lovely Deagle to start it. But Smiths basically said, there's no other opera that does what I do. I'm more about being in position to play off my teammates, and I would rather my teammates do well than I get kills. And whenever I drop 40 kills, it's because they aren't, or I'm left alive late. He's not an impact operator. He never considered himself that. He's a decision maker and a mid-round sort of adaptation caller. And I thought it was kind of interesting that I said, why even listen to all the hatred? He said, actually, it motivates me sometimes. You know, if I go there, I just want to prove them wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. He did that big post, but okay, Config is giving them a taste of their own medicine. This time, Shoxy going down and start the round with that one, but from the Desert Eagle, and you can see the terrorists striking towards long at this point. So we've been kind of discussing the idea on these anti-ecos. What's the best possible way to win them? This is perfect. You get the long control, and you take that away from the CTs there. They can't really face or really work out what's going on. They can't have presence towards that area, and you normally leave one towards this long pit to actually just keep prodding them and making sure they can't actually control the A ramp. Body was going to be that player. I thought they were going to go in towards short. They're actually going all the way through T-spawn and get in towards the tunnels here. They obviously don't really know what's on the other side. MSI had a chance there to get in towards the tunnels and get in a scary little position there, but he has boosted. This is actually pretty cool for one frag. He probably will get one. As they only have a couple of flashes getting towards this B site. Time ticking away. You thought they probably had to strike a bit sooner than this. It's getting to the point where the CTs probably will be aware this might be a possibility soon. This is Body once again. Is trying to sell something towards short, take that vision away from middle, while his teammates are getting ready to walk into B. Okay, Rubino.
Ready indeed. Rubino starting it off. Here's the bait in. MSL, he's got one. He lets them go by. Smith falls. And Rubino shows up on the doorstep. Dignitas respond. We go 1 for 1 for 1. Back and forth again. It's going to be no money left over on this terrorist side, aside for Shox and Body, and they actually go all in on this with an two AWPs.
Yeah, for me, that didn't really make sense for G2. If you're going to go after T-spawn, you need to be quick. You need to stop the CTs actually working on what's going on. Had they've got him short and had left Body towards long, who's watched, like I said, watching the A ramp, you take the short with this flashbang, you actually put yourself in a fantastic position to actually pin to the side, make things very difficult for the CTs. But now, double up, like you said, interesting, and we have got a CT towards the top middle. That's actually going to be Magisboy. UMP in hand. No one to find just yet, but Smith, he's towards long by himself. Magisboy should shut him down. There it is, and actually starts opening the floodgates now as he picks up the AWP and falls back. So he's denied that AWP. Sure, it's an equal situation. We normally say it's in favor of the T's, but now they've lost that all. That's a huge blow to them, even though they got that first pick.
Yeah, that's actually significant. Scream as well with the armor on Tech 9 if they can pick up a second kill.
And your case can be on the ult now as well.
That's, yeah. So we'll see if that haunts them here. I mean, the SMGs is interesting because Body without armor and Shox on the AWP doesn't have any either, but they still have Scream with the Tech 9 on head armor and full chest armor, and Rubino gets caught looking the wrong way. No peek from MSL. A little bit curious that he doesn't go sooner. That costs him because Shox is there. He starts to panic, overcommits to the peek, and the AWP finds it. Cajun B tries to time into the smoke, but the smoke's thrown early. No one crossing just yet. And it will be a potential for G2 to make it 1-1-1-1 as Body waiting, doesn't spot Magis crossing over as he looks at the exact wrong time. It will pull it back to a 2 versus 2, but both teams with the same weaponry. It's going to be an AWP and a UMP on either side. Shox is the only one disadvantaged in this without the armor, but that only applies if it's against the UMP. Because from range, he's got the advantage, and the UMP can't find the shot towards the back of the site, and Cajun B is going to bail already. He's going to keep this AWP, so we are going to go
back and forth,
yeah,
isn't it?
I like it. I like it.
It's the war of attrition right now, isn't it? It's try and keep forcing him, and the other team hasn't really stabilized their cash at that point. Double orbs somehow works out for them. Even after in that first pick, it was great positioning from Magisboy, getting up towards the top middle, completely undetected as well. I thought that was round over that stage. You've taken an AWP away, and you've only got pistols to work with at that stage as well, but somehow getting towards B, the timings is working in G2's favor. As soon as they go towards B, it was a player rotating. I think it was MSL's teammate Rubino, who is at the door, just as he's caught jumping with the gun in his hand, gets taken down. MSL can only find one of the UMP, and that's when the AWP of Shox can really come into its own. So then, Cajun B saves an AWP. Still going to be forcing into this. No one is giving in yet, just yet. It's relentless. They still have a pretty decent buy. Magisboy's got an M4, 2 Famouses as well. Back and forth round so far. Rubino takes a tag through the door as well. He goes on the 51 HP. Looks like a B-sided attack. Flashes go in. Just a B-rush. Why not? Get in. See what happens with the MAC-10s.
Oh, good kill from Body to start it off. It's going to be Shox immediately in with the MAC-10, though. Finally, maybe some stabilization here in terms of the rounds. 17 HP as Shox will put the bomb down. Cajun, AWP in hand. Might want to look to save that, as they are going to be in a position this time where not much can be done. He's already smoked off Catwalk. That indicates he's trying to keep himself alive. Spots the footsteps. Don't shoot just yet. Footsteps. I know you can't spot footsteps. I get it. Footprints. Steps.
Legs.
Feet. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Either way.
Well, either way, I think that's actually quite a decent call from G2. If you think about it, It's a bit of a risk.
That's a problem. Now they know where he is.
It's a bit of a risk considering the CTs might have weaponry, but you know they won't have incendiaries. That's pretty much the only thing that can guarantee to stop a B rush. If they don't have those, you're going with the Mac 10, so a decent flash is thrown. Actually have a chance to get in there, which works out perfectly.
I don't think this AWP... Oh, that gives it. Shocks, I thought, would push into Goose. Cage has got a chance to try and run. He does just get there. If Shocks had have looked Goose immediately, they could have pinched him.
Well then, the first team to 2 rounds in a row, it will be G2. But the AWP has been saved once again, so do they force into this one? It looks like they're trying to actually build some economy now, as they are going to save the M4 and the AWP. Not forcing around it, not actually going to be buying anything at all, really. And Smith's through the door, it's actually straight up through the gap as well. Actually is a possibility, it's not so much skill, it does take really good reaction and timing, but it's more down to a little bit of luck as well. It's not consistent around that shot, but MSL now, P2000 in hand, sits in the smoke. They know he's there though, they know you're there, as they take him down.
Do they know he's there?
Apparently so.
Well, Magisk Boy and Cajun B, the last 2 alive again. This AWP needs to be carried over once more for Cajun B, and they're going to go once again trying to find him and hunt him down, but good positioning right now to just watch anyone coming through the bottom of middle. That flash thrown from a teammate in mid for Smiths was perfect.
Pretty good. Oh, they know exactly where Magisk Boy is. Definitely worth the hunt at this point. They know the money is starting to dwindle for the CTs, and there it is. There's definitely a buy available, but they can't get an AWP. That's where they're so strong. As they get KGB towards that car area, that's when they're shutting down their execute. So we know how strong the execute from G2 is. We discussed it to no end on the desk there as to why it's so good. Oh, they've got 3 AWPs here, though, on the T side of Dust2. It's not overtime. This is regulation. So, okay, they did have 3 AWPs. Where's the other one gone? Did they drop it?
It's got to be there somewhere.
Unless I
completely misread that. It might have been... No, I think it must have been... You must have misseen it.
Okay. Am I going crazy? I swear
I thought... I normally trust you, Henry, but now I'm not sure that I can.
Retract it. Maybe my go-to was like delayed or something. I saw 3 for sure. Oh well.
I am slowly going crazy. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 switch. Slowly am I going... No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I forget. See? It's an old campfire song.
Maybe I'm more tired than I thought.
It's a long week. But we still have a long road ahead of us in this game as well. Double op setup, as you mentioned, not triple, just to clarify. For Smiths and Shocks, and it's going to be Scream to take down Rubino. Cajun now has to watch the cross, but a smoke will prevent him from doing so. He's gotten close enough, he's at least hearing the footsteps going by. And it was only 2 ops confirmed by production as Cajun beat. He's going to get re-smoked, re-flashed, re-everything, and as they're already backing away to save once more on the Dignitas side, it's Body that finds Config. Now keep in mind, this map is the epitome of the poor CT sides for G2. So, that said, we have to keep an eye on, you know, making sure they at least win the half, but pulling out some numbers that are favorable. And Dignitas, we need to see them get the money built up so they can get that AWP on Cajun B consistently, knowing that he likes to play toward the car. He was the one they built that meta around, Magisk Boy. He's going to have a nice stat in terms of little deaths in this game if he continues to save, but ultimately that's not going to win them rounds.
Yeah, he keeps finding these kills at the end of the rounds and boosting his frag total, but ultimately they haven't had that much impact to the game. He's just trying to stay alive once again. This time he's towards the pit, flashed off. Looks like they're hunting once more. GT, those flash will buy them some space to get out of the doors, and Scream finishes things off. And it should be another Eek here. That's $2,900 coming into the bank accounts of Dignitas, so can get some upgraded pistols here. That's probably about it. And Shoxy, can we stay on him for a while? He's got the best spawn you can possibly get with the AWP as well. Almost certainly going for the pick at the start of the round.
See if he does it. Already staring toward long like a racehorse in the gate.
Ready to go out of the trap. Here he's got 3 players coming towards him as well. Let's see
He's
this works out.
He's there. Flash is ready, though. Look at them. Backs turned. Okay, they jump it. Cajun B. Now is there going to be a flash from Magisk Boy? He's the one with the flash as well, so they were both waiting for that. It never came through. He saved it and timed it, but it's not good enough to catch Body as it just gets him around the corner and he catches Config. The first flash was from his teammate. The second was from Magisk, who comes out late and dies to Shock. So long was the battle. That was the full exchange. 6-2 is our scoreline. Despite that early back and forth affair, it's now double up set up on the CT side. Cajun B, the one we have to keep an eye on. Remember, he likes to play that car position.
He definitely does. So double AWP setup coming in for sure. And he's going to be shocked with that spawn once again. So I'm sure he'll have more fun with this as he goes in towards long. 3 players there once again. He'll dodge the flash as well. Will they be facing? It doesn't look like they will. We've got to wait for the smoke. This is the safe bet. Don't want to give Shocks a chance, but still he fires off a shot. And actually going to be screaming everything things up on the other side of the map. That was towards B. Rubino, I guess he went quite aggressive with the AWP there. I have to go check where he died, but it looked like it was quite a close range confrontation as he was the secondary AWP. Whereabouts was he? He was on the back platform, so Scream just full-on faced him and rips his head off. Very impressive stuff.
Well, Cajun B nearly spots the cross, doesn't find the shot in time. MSL's gone and pick up that second AWP from where Rubino went down. You can see it on your screen. You've got a lovely view of it, but Smiths has a lovely view of Cajun B.
I like that angle he's got as well. Standing on the barrel, it's not where someone's going to be pre-aiming as well. He's just hoping someone's going to face him. It's one of the hardest angles in the game for a CT to face. So many angles to spot, it's almost recommended you never go for it. You want to be flashing over or smoking the doors before you face it, but obviously they're a man down. Want to try and get something back into the round, has to take a chance there. As Cajun B dropping, so they do have the orbs recovered still, the CTs. But just boy, they always flash over though, G2, they've already taken it. And you see he's fully flashed at this point. They're waiting for the reaction.
Oh, lovely.
Body's ready. He seems in the zone right now.
He's very good on Dust2 as well. I mean, that makes it even better that him and Smiths seem to be specialists on this map, because it strengthens what is already a very formidable core 3 with RPK, Shocks and Scream on the accuracy front. And it's going to be another save for Dignitas. How many times have we said this already this half? 4 rounds they've had to run away with AWPs or rifles to try and hold them over. Yeah. MSL's the one to do it this time. Body's on 8, so don't imagine he'll go hunting anytime soon, but there's really no one yet threatening that B site as it is regardless.
Be the 6th round in a row now for G2 as they increase their score margin. Oh, what a shot from Smiths that was. He seems ready as well. Everyone coming to life here for G2. RPK's having a quiet game, 1 for 5, and everyone else just going absolutely berserk here. And we do have maximum loss bonus, but on the City side, that's never really going to be enough overall. Partial bike can come in. You can see that arriving on the screens right now. So CZ's body armor, 5.7s. He's going to be on the PT-15. He needs to keep his money a little bit more, well, a lot stronger, I guess, if he wants to get the AWP going forward. And G2 almost certainly going to 8-2 here. So this is the Dust2 we've come to expect. Shock's reading the situation quite nicely. He just gets a Mach 10, and he can play reconnaissance going in first and throw it into those bomb sites to farm some cash. But Rubino does find the first frag with the Desert Eagle. Takes on RPK in the B-bombs.
So far, so good. Shocks, though, tagged up significantly. Needs to fall back on this because RPK down already. A 2-man advantage will be a problem against these pistols. Rubino's going to play the same spot we saw MSL do earlier on, and to great success as well. On that second round, this time they check it. Body, he's going to find the kill. It's MSL immediately behind him, and Body, he punishes both. It's Config in the doorway, but as we saw it, there's a player. That's actually quite good. A player out behind him. The smoke comes down. Shocks won't be able to get to him in time, and he's on 20 HP, Shocks. So Config has pulled this back. He's pushed the tunnels. They're not ready for him. Shocks, he goes in thinking there's no way. And Smith's never had view of it. He's got the AK picked up. Bomb still dropped in the halls. And Smith's has to clutch this back. That is a lovely round from Config. Regardless of how this ends, that is a lovely sequence of opportunity for him to take a hold of, and it's going to be Smith trying to Molotov flash in. That does push him back as he was behind the pillar, but Config's going to close it with 4.
Lovely stuff, though. Those 5-7 kills especially. Very, very impressive stuff from him there. Nails those first 2 shots and has a good read as well. He knows Shocks is low HP. His teammates have already told him that as well. Here's the replay and screen. Now this shot, that was great. The body up head armor, it seemed like his head just exploded there in the second shot. And then Shocks, they know exactly where he is. They know the timings of this as well. So Config's got the information. He's lower B, takes advantage of it, takes him down. And this Molotov placement as well just denies Shocks, Smith, getting the kill in return. So, what looked like a nightmare situation. I even speculated it was guaranteed to be A2. Somehow, Config pulls it back. This time, Rubino, though, by himself towards lower B. Does get taken down, but Config continuing the good form. Does find a kill in return, but Smiths, once again, Cajun B seems to be getting shut down all over the place.
Certainly does, and that's a problem because he's more of a mid-round player with that AWP, so him down early, Magist can't contest long. He's got to sit from the car with a rifle. He's managed to win that exchange, but look how thinned out the defense are as a result of this. By setting up a 2-man, no one middle, 2-man on A, no one middle, MSL's had to push out, catch RPK, and now he's going to have to rotate back over toward mid. But it's still 2 versus 2, and Config's established at least that he has catwalk, which means they've got to be going and funneling toward the B site. MSL's going to reposition inside a closet as well, and Smith, he'll check it, he'll peek it, get the headshot. And we might be looking at an 8th round for G2, if Config can't play hero once more. Bomb planted default. He'll be exposed to tunnels, but covered off by Smiths, who's not looking at all. In fact, the most vulnerable position his teammate could have been spotted from. He doesn't check it, he watches the smoke, but it's still going to be Body to spray him back down, and G2, they'll get that lovely 8. The hateful 8.
The hateful 8 indeed. Config with good work there once again. I thought he'd done just enough to secure the round, but not meant to be. There's a reset for Dignitas. It won't be a double eco after having a successful eco round. As I struggle to get my words out there. It's going to be 8-3 in G2, and surely we can't see a similar sort of performance on Config here with the 5-7, although he has bought it. Got some armor as well, but he's got no nades or kits. Very unlikely to win the round. I'm not going to say it's impossible again because You saw what happens when you say silly things like that as RPK goes towards long, gets that first shot and screen, back to the one tap it seems, towards short. Going to be backstabbed by MSL there with the P2000. So they have managed to recover an AK-47, but the problem is the bomb is going down. Molotovs are running in towards short as well. They're going to have to retreat from this position. And Smith is waiting for them.
Smith's is waiting, but not finding. Does eventually land a KGB, but now he's got to switch over to the Tech 9 instead. Body's there, he'll help. Body's such a good help. 9-3 G2. This is the rounds that we were talking about. So we know they're good on the T side. CT side struggling a little bit. 9 rounds, very workable for them. This is roughly where I would have expected them to land. But now, on top of that, with the money still dire on the Dignitas side, if they can pick up one here, they'll be back down to pistols, and they've got a chance to go for a lot more.
Long spawn once again. Chad was saying off air, like, if his team ever got the long spawn, he's taking it every single time. He thinks it's worth it.
Look how far he is.
Yeah.
Not only does he hold the angle, he's gone. That flash comes out. He's got time to reset the aim, but can't exactly follow and replicate that first shot onto the second double flash. He'll try and take pit potentially, or is he just going to wait once more? Flash comes back. They've got to swap over to keep Shocks in contention for this. And Smith's AWP down. He's got KGB round over. Rubino's way over on the B site.
In terms of me analyzing the round and the tactical breakdown, this is the Dust2 mode. When the teams are hitting every single shot, there's not necessarily a huge amount of strategy going into it. So Shocks has got the long spawn. He knows, well, I'm just hitting shots right now. Do you want me to go along and see what I can do?
How
flash
far
over.
out was he too?
Yeah, I'm going to flash over and I'm just going to face them. It's not really, sometimes Dust2 is like that. It's not like I can tell you exactly why or explain things. It's just a good spawn. You're feeling like you're going to hit the shot, and you know the CT money is going to be low as well. So it's a good chance you can actually win that situation. Dust2 is quite beautiful in that sense that it gives you the freedom and confidence to just completely bully a team when you have these good spawns. It's quite cool to watch. And one of the things I do like about Dust2 is a different kind of Counter-Strike sometimes. More deathmatch style, you know, when you really get in the zone.
Pick from Scream, Shocks. He'll get Magisk Boy back, so G2, I said it, if they could get the last round and force them back onto pistols, they've got a chance to get a lot more in 11 rounds. We've seen them on 11 for, what, 4 or 5 times since the start of Pro League, including Starladder, obviously, is the LAN. Like, this is a common scoreline for them on the T side. It's very, very threatening when teams go against G2 on this map, I have to say.
Double orb setup to finish things off here for Dignitas, who will be Cajun once again with Rubino. Can't say the double orb's been tremendously successful. They've only won a single gun round so far. If you remember, they won the pistol, lost the second round force buy, but then force bought back themselves. And then, I guess they haven't really won a gun round yet. The only round they won, Matt, was with that 5-7 work of config. So they're yet to win a gun round, which is kind of nuts if you think about it like that.
Yep, that's actually almost depressing when you think about it like that. MSL gets found in the smoke. G2 on their way to getting 12-3. Good shot from Cajun B as they push through. Flashes don't really do much to deter his fate, but his fate's still limiting, I dare say. Second flash, he has to turn away. Does get back in time to hit Scream, but RPK there. The double peek comes in. 12-3 for G2. This is, I mean, considering we started out 1-1-1-1 with back and forth affair, I'm shocked that it just got carried away like that. That's the thing is ridiculous.
Those force buys, although they're quite close rounds,
yeah, it hurts them.
They come back to haunt you, right? And they can never really recover from them as well. The only round they won past the first 5 was that 5-7 round, a full eco essentially. Didn't win a single gun round there. They were limited in the utility, the orbs, and G2, like I said, once they got rolling, there was no stopping them. There was no strategy there. They was in the zone playing deathmatch, using their spawns every single time. Can Dignitas do anything to get back into the series? I'm not so sure. Let's see after their break whether they can do anything about it.
Welcome back for the last half of the evening. Remember, G2 did take the first map against Dignitas. Another 12-3 in this one.
Indeed. Not a good place to be against G2 on Dust2, I'm afraid. Probably needed a few more rounds here. Comes down to the pistol. If they can pick it up, we might have a closer scoreline. If they lose it, it's probably going to be 16-3. So, a lot of pressure there.
Well, we got 12. We got 15-3.
Yeah, but then it's like you're constantly forced by trying to get out of the situation.
Then there's a bomb plant, and then it could be 14-3.
The good news is G2 normally suckers D2 online. So
you're right. You're not wrong.
We'll see what happens.
You're sometimes wrong, but you're not wrong this time.
Don't be silly. I'm never wrong. Come on. Be fair.
What are you? I won't say it. Shocks, this is typical, isn't it? This is exactly what we would expect. He pushes up inside the beat tunnels. Body, rather, excuse me, Matchday. I don't know why I said body, but Matchday gets the kill back. They know he does it.
Here we go.
So he finds it, and Dignitas, Cajun B, he's going to pick up 2. Body's going to fade away on top of the site. It is 2-man down. Body's watching down toward long. Can't find the first pickup. Does go down to Matchday as they pinch her back into the site. Matchday rotating, obviously, from the tunnels where he got the first kill, and now we've got a game.
We do. You know G2 will be forced into the second round. They always seem to like to do that. There's an argument I'm sure we could discuss in the analyst desk when you have this sort of lead in the CT side of Dust2. Maybe you just want to go in with a full eco and have everything available to you, all the grenades, defuse kits, the AWP, and finish it off nice and quickly. Now they are kind of opening the door of opportunity. If they do not win this round, Dignitas will have a lot of money. They could potentially win that first gun round just due to the lack of G2 buy coming in. And there will be 3 AKs, 2 UMPs, and a headshot from Scream, though. Does give them a chance to do something with this round.
Well, we had an unorthodox start to the first half. Why not do that again, right? Let's see if we can get back to back to back to back to back to back to back again.
That certainly helps. And Scream boosted up towards short, gets that first shot. I don't think Cajun B saw it coming. As now, we'll give the information to his teammates. You can see them a little bit scared to face it once again. Flash comes in, pretty standard stuff, and Scream has been spotted, but still not dead now somehow. As his teammate does fall next to him, it's going to be Scream looking for that second shot. Can't get it. It's going to be the danger over. Surely, there it is. The round has been secured. Dignitas fighting together, using the flashbangs, being efficient, and now it's just up to Smiths and Shocks. As Shocks, he pushes towards upper B, Smiths waiting towards A. But you can see Dignitas is pretty aware that Shocks like to do this and take him down to 59 HP.
And there's the start for Config onto the site. Hold down to Shocks. Bomb will be planted for good measure, just to be sure nothing awkward can come of this, trying to hunt down Shocks, and they don't really need to hunt him, let's be honest. I doubt they'll go too aggressive on this Deagle.
Yeah, nothing to lose. Well, nothing to gain, I guess.
Exactly.
That's what I should say. Nothing to gain for Dignitas at this point. Shoxy is the one who can get farm some money, the Deagle, and potentially pick up an AK as well. They've got nothing to really gather from him apart from $300. And they won't be hunting. Just holding tight angles and hoping he walks into that crosshair. Shoxy's aware as well. He's got body armor, so he doesn't really want to die. They don't really want to hunt him, so there probably won't be any further action in this round. Or Config. We'll just blow his head off.
Pretty straightforward. How's Shocks' ping doing? I imagine it's stabilized considerably.
It's 57. So, not great, not horrible.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
It's still down to routing of online games, right? Like, it's not necessarily where your location is, it's your ISP that you can see.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so the routing, depending on where you go, so yeah, I can tell you lots of stories about that. I ping better to New York than I do to Montreal due to the way that it transfers.
Yeah, so you could live in the same village as Smiths, for example. If you're different internet service providers, you could have different routing to the main server. So
yeah, exactly. Depends on who you're with. I don't know all the routes in North America, or in Europe. North America, I know some of them, but Config will take down Smiths, follow that up, finds Body as well. Scream, the last one remaining in a 1 versus 5. Pretty straightforward, not much to report, as you would often say, Henry, and now we get things a little bit more to the pace that we might expect, and if G2 can get this first gun and put this to bed at 12-6, though.
This is why there's an argument for the points I made at the start. Them just going full eco on that second round means they'll be much more equipped going into this one. You can see now, they don't have an AWP, they have 1 kit, no incendiaries. It wouldn't be a perfect buy, but it'd be much stronger than this, and they'd have much more to work with on this first gun round. This is why it's always, for me, when you have a 12-3 sort of lead, is there any sort of requirement to force into it? RPK throws himself to the wolves there. No flashes, no back from the teammates, just running on the corner. This is kind of very games Source style in that respect, but Shoxy trying to do what he can as he finds a kill towards Config.
Rubino's going to try and follow this back up, though. chase Shocks away, who's caught in the middle in the open. He goes down, and Scream comes around the corner, go for the refrag. Guess what? That's the exact time Rubino walks around the corner at Catwalk, and they're down a man in a 2 versus 1. It's just body remaining. They've got to throw that bomb across. He'll see it, knows that it didn't get far enough, so sets his aim to where the player should appear and nearly does the damage to Rubino. In the end, he only tags him down to 78, though, which means with no kit, he's going to have to go for an audacious play, a bold one at long, and Cajun B with an AWP, sat inside the pit, isn't looking at this just yet. Everyone who knows this game, who's played this game, that's short thrown.
I like the idea of it, just badly executed.
I was going to say everyone knows that angle. We've all played it in deathmatch, but I was stopped in my tracks by a lovely flashbang.
Yeah, I think if you just thrown in the pit and just rushed him, then you'd have a chance of getting the kill, right? Probably wouldn't have won the round, but it would have been much more successful than that, potentially. But still, there it is, Dignitas. Like I said, G2 just didn't really have much to work with. They're getting shut down across the board. They had to go aggressive. You need to find those kills. RPK runs around and flashbang, just pushes off short. And for anyone who didn't know source, exactly what Very gives used to do. It needs to be very successful at that. So I was kind of referencing that in that sort of round. But here we go then. Dignitas, pretty simple round. Just going to be a few upgraded pistols for G2. And Scream looking to get a one shot, probably will get it, as he always does. This time he's denied. And it will be Body, the last player remaining, and he's actually in T-spawn. He pushed the B tunnels. Could find a kill. Who's that? It's going to be Cajun B, but he can hear him coming. Dead. Right?
Oh, you jinxed it, Henry. Why'd you do that? But either way, it will be 12-8 now. So how quickly the rounds can grow when you are Team Dignitas on a T side, seemingly. I don't think we're anywhere near done. We know G2 struggles on the CT. We saw it last map, and we're seeing signs of it again here.
Yeah, well, G2, the CT side. I think I'm kind of bored of discussing it now. Every single event and every online game.
But it is the talking point.
But it is seemed to be prevalent throughout every single game we watch them online, especially. But here we go then. Round number 6. Long take from Dignitas. Now they're starting to get in the zone. They're starting to get a bit of momentum in their favor as the flashes go over towards the A side. The CTs have to fall back. This is perfect now from Dignitas. You get the long control. You leave someone in the pit. G2 did a bad job of this by going for T-spawn. The idea is you leave someone like Cajun B patrolling the A ramp and the site as well. Go back towards short. At that stage, you've pinted the CTs onto the site. You Molotov them, force them out of position. You almost gifted the A side by yourself. This has to be the reaction from G2. You see, they have to go to B tunnels, and you can see now there's actually reaction coming in. This is actually a good response. But if Dignitas work quickly, they've got a decent chance of overwhelming them. But Scream does find the first kill. I believe he was actually in lower B when he found that.
This is interesting, though, from Shocks. Plays elevator. He can play the right angle because Smith's just covered off left as they've already crossed, but he can't find the shots. They're on the ramp, and Shocks needs to time this perfectly to push through the smoke. He's got a lineup, and he's got... Oh, no, he does not. Take it back. Hold the phone. Config finds a stray bullet headshot out of that spray, and Shocks, although he does a massive amount of damage, can't close him off. It should give Scream a chance. The Flash, a better chance as MSL stands... Not for long on the site. He'll come back in, get the defuse, and it will be 13 rounds now for G2.
So like I said, Dignitas, a perfect opportunity there. It was a really nice textbook round for them. Unfortunately, didn't have presence anywhere else. They didn't go quickly enough to fall back and go towards short. They committed towards long. Problem is, at that point, Dignitas, or should I say G2, actually reacted very quickly. Like I said, they're actually in a difficult position, need to get some map control. They know they've had causes big numbers towards long A, so they're quite safe to push the B tunnels at that point. So screening it towards lower B, very important kill towards lower. He knows the rest of the team are on towards long, and he manages to convert that into 3 frags overall. This time Smith's very good at that mid-door pick. Seems to get that shot most times as he does find the first kill. MSL finds one in return, but Body shuts him down. 4-on-3 in favor of G2, and will just be 3 AKs remaining. The AWP has been dropped. Flashbang, which is a HE grenade, going around towards Car. Shoxy almost certain to pick up a kill as he faces again. Just narrowly misses out on the shot there. I thought that was going to connect for sure.
Try as he might, though. They're still going to try and peek. Goes for that first shoulder bait that allows him around the corner, and the Molotov coming in is going to flush him out. Now there's a problem. RPK, he does hit a nice shot onto Config, thankfully, so it goes 1 for 1, but he was caught behind the barrels. Body can't afford to re-peek this, so instead he'll smoke them off. In doing so, though, in all of this, take a quick peek at that mini-map. Thank you very much, Rushley. You knew exactly where I was going with that. It's going to be Smith's waiting top of middle with an AWP as soon as they walk out long.
So the CTs are in a great position right now. Body just readdressing himself towards short, so he's watching for the crossover, and he actually hasn't got any grades. It's Smith's with the utility. If it was the other way around, this would be perfect, but it's going to be Body trying to battle them off with nothing here. So the smokes are deployed for Dignitas. I just got to wait up and see whether one kind of stabs him in the back at this point. What have they got to cross? Nothing. So with 2 AKs, they need to make their way to the A side. Time ticking away as well. Need to bet out a shot here from Body. If he had the AWP, that could be possible, but he's got the M4. He'll be looking to get at least 1 down before they get to the site here. He'll be committed to that kill. Rubino goes up towards the car. They're going to try and fake at the same time here. What a shot there from Ruben as he crosses over and takes the head of Body with him.
So Rubino to plant. Safe plant at this point in time. Smartly doing so because Smith's at long spotted. Oh, but it's the shot. Rubino, he was the one that saw him and he nailed him through the box. He's now going to try and push onto this Molotov, but he's dropped down into the elevator position. And Smith's, he's waiting for that Molotov to push him. Does he think he's gone quad? Does he think he's gone cat? Does he find him or not? Because as he gets in the open, Smith's gets on the wall and Magisk Boy holds true. It's going to go 13-9.
What an exciting round that was. Rubino with a hell of a shot as he got towards the car area, and Smith's wall bangs on the bomb side as well as it's planted. I thought once he dropped that incendiary in towards the second box position, he'd have to read, he'd drop down to lower, but like he said, there were other options. He could have got to Gandalf and had a chance, but this was the shot. Boom.
So it was actually, I take it, so he was the planter.
Yes.
I thought he was the one that spotted in the background. It was the front guy that he got.
Yeah.
Regardless, by the way, bodies crossed every time tonight. Oh, take it back. They pushed mid and get damage off him one way or another, but it is going to go around to Dignitas. So Shocks, nice shot, takes Config with the Deagle, holding inside of middle, and Shocks too with the Deagle. He's got Rubino down, but they're still down a man. AK picked up. He's now going to swap that over and go toward the B site where they've already entered, crossed over, bomb getting ready to plant, and doing so in the default position. Shocks has thrown that smoke quite deep.
Yeah.
I thought he might try and push through that and catch off Magisk.
Yeah, it bounces off that door to give him an actual presence towards the car area. He'll be smoked out in return though, so still uses to his advantage. Pushes through, has a chance to make this work. RPK with the headshot from the window room, but it's going to be Cajun B to find two with the Tech 9 to finish things off. Got a bit interesting there with the Shocks 1 dig, but ultimately Dignitas now finding round number 10. It's 7-1 here. CT halves proving a problem once again for G2. Had it all did it all fall out of control from that second round force buy? I would speculate yes. I'd say like that's maybe the problem for G2 in those rounds. They're limited in terms of what they have. I think they need to start addressing that situation. It seems like this seems to be a common storyline every single time we see them swap over towards the CT side. Well then.
Magisk Boy is going to be the one out along this time, but look at that double setup.
They've got now.
Yep, there's one in pit.
So, UMP, well, a couple of kits, M4s, no ops. Take a lot of work here.
That's a problem for Shocks. Flashed off. We got 3 rounds between us. Remember, it was 12-3 at the half. Shocks does find the headshot on MSL when Cajun B pulls it back. Flash out, no chance to re-peek Scream. It does slow them down, though. That was the primary objective of that flash because he knew he was far enough away. He couldn't get caught inside of CT. Magiska's got RPK, though, and Body. All right, nice shot with the UMP, but the timing, he nearly got it with a nade out. As Magisk Boy will pull this back and Scream's going to play on the ramp. That leaves him exposed to the Molotov, which clips through the wall, and the players on Catwalk. We're going to have a 13-11 game, and Dignitas are making this happen. Body's not done yet. 1 versus 2. Ooh, damage done. They jump up. Why is Cajun B doing that?
What is that?
There's absolutely no reason. Body's got 3 kills. He's got a kid. He's got an 8. He's got the HP advantage over top of Magisk Boy, who's on top of the platform to watch the bomb. And Body should be able to bait him out so long as he gives himself the time. Checks Catwalk from... Why would he check out? He just came from there, and it's planted for long. I'm not sure his thought process on that.
I guess he may have thought that Magisk Boy pushed the long doors and he's coming behind it. It's a pretty unlikely call considering the situation. But it does work out for Magisk Boy in the end, like you said.
Unless someone called it for him, perhaps.
So what was his jump, right? Let's have a look at this. Why would Cajun? He gets into safe area. You stay alive here. You've won the round. Why did he jump? He might be using an old mouse. Maybe he's got the scroll wheel bug or something like that. I have no idea. There's literally no reason to jump there. You're just trying to buy time for your team. You've got a long plant down. Stop him coming in. That's it.
And to clarify, when you say it's not a software bug, it's when the mouse wheel, basically the spring is worn out and it sits on the edge and then it moves on you.
And like old mice, though.
Yeah, the original Death Adders were like terrible for it.
And like IntelliMouse 3.0, that's the ones that I haven't really heard that being an issue recently. But to reiterate, there's no reason to jump there at all. It looked like a mistake. It looked like he didn't want to do that.
I thought MSL had or Shocks, excuse me, had the lineup on that, but MSL gets the kill. That's going to be a dink. From Screen, pushes through, takes the fight, gets the kill. 2 players still facing him, though, and it won't amount to much with not only 2 players facing him, 1 more in the B site behind him, and it's going to be 13-12. Dignitas, they're making this happen, Henry. Yes. We kind of almost foretold this.
Yep. How does this happen every single time, though? So you expect to see it every now and then and think like, oh, they always do this, but
and I heard,
every single time.
To clarify, because Matt left his comms open, our producer, he said it's happening. He said before tonight started, he said, what is it with 12-3 halftimes? Because every time we see them, there's a comeback.
I did hear that it's happening. I didn't really register that's what it was.
That's totally what he meant, and he's laughing about it now.
Yeah, okay, excellent. Well, we've got a 4s coming in. I think it's about time. G2 need to pull the socks up here. They should be one of the best Dust2 teams in the world right now. That's what they used to be, and they're events like ECS, where they actually won that event, they looked unstoppable on that map. And right now, since Pro League started, we've had that vacation, well, even 2 weeks, we don't even call it a proper vacation, right? They've been very rusty in these CT sides. Obviously, a great tournament in Kiev. They managed to address some of those issues with just phenomenal individual performances from the likes of Shox and Body as well. And they're able to kind of get themselves out of some sticky situations. But now they're, what, 9-1 down. CT half, they have got a buy available. RPK is having a stinker of a game, 7 for 18. But Scream, 25 kills. You'd think they'd be posting rounds of those kind of numbers. 22 kills for Body as well. Just a lot of some clutches. I'm going to look through the rounds myself. So 1 round, 1 alive, 2 alive, 1 alive. Lots of these being tight clutches, you know.
Yep.
A lot of them haven't been as well, to be fair. It's been
So
at
the start of the round, but the last ones have,
Yeah,
and that's the ones that matter because you're
tight.
forcing exactly the reinvestment in the last ones. If the first ones are so far removed at this point, it's not that big of a deal. But man, oh man, I can't believe G2's letting this happen right now.
I guess this is the perfect time to take a pause. You still have the advantage. The game's not thrown by any means yet. They've got a full buy here. I'd say the double up setup come out potentially. It wouldn't be the best buy, but I think there's one Body's bought it. Smith's going to forward one as well. Okay, single up setup by the looks of things. Not going to be going for that one, but Smith's, sorry, not Smith's. Shoxy could still buy glass kind of if he wants to. I think they'll stick with 4 rifles and 1 AWP by the looks of things. Smith, Shoxy, what are you going to do for me? What have you got? Come on. He wants to keep us in suspense, apparently.
Well,
there it is.
We've got it. We've got it. We're back in the room. So
Yep.
it's going to be glass cannon for Shox.
That's what he's kind of discussing with his team. Should I just do it? We need to win around, boys. Should I do something big? Should I do something nuts? Do you remember in that cobble map against Envy when he goes drop down with the AWP? Like, when you need the big plays,
Right.
He's the one to deliver them, right? So
It was quite lovely. And remember as well, coming off of land, Dignitas, they're still in land mentality, sitting beside each other right now.
they're still in the same country.
At the Cybersport Arena. Yeah, their ping was all 39 the last time we
is
checked.
awesome, by the way.
Yeah, they're roughly all 39. I do like that arena a lot. Yep. Cajun B, yeah, that was your first time there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Smiths, doesn't land the shot, nearly goes down. He can't afford to at this point in time. They need every advantage that they can get on the CT side. And Smiths will go back for more after trying to flash over, but it's a double present stored catwalk. Something a little bit different to try and catch them off on this T side. And RPK is going to try and get baited in by the stairwell. As MSL at middle, going to dodge that first flash, but it gives Smith the second chance to try and get the peek. Doesn't find it. It's going to be an AK back in return, and advantage gone. G2 can't find the opening pick. RPK.
Tries they might.
Do anything you like. It's going to be a flash over the lineup, though. RPK, okay. Hold on. He's got 2 back in return. Gets time for the reload as well. It's going to give Cajun B with an AWP a chance to pull this back, but he's on low. 21 HP for RPK. Flash is going to push Cajun B back, and almost thankfully so, because there was help coming over toward that catwalk position from G2. Instead, they'll put the attention toward long. It's Shox that will force Majestic Boy back toward the cave, and Scream is going to take advantage to get toward Car late. Smoke on the corner, spray through. He's got the lineup, but he can't find the kill, and it gives Cajun the turn with the AWP. RPK down with 1. It's Majestic Boy immediately there on top of him. And it remains 2 versus 2 on Shox AWP. This glass cannon is still in effect.
Rubino had the Molotov. I thought he was going to come in for the clean kill, but just walks into him. The Thorn and Shoxy's side is going to be a 2 versus 1. Body, no kit, no nades, M4, and removed from the situation as of now. The bomb will be planted towards A long, but those things are kind of a bit tentative to actually get it on there. They're actually wasting time. They need to be very careful. His Body's coming in the back. Does get the first kill. Actually gets denied. Majestic Boy having a very successful game so far. Finds that kill. That was very important. I thought Body had that dead to rights, but apparently not. We've hit 13-13. And it looks like
3
has to be an eco here as well.
10-1.
How is this happening every single time we cast? Are we the cast? Maybe we're the problem. Every time we cast them, this happens.
You know what? I think you're right. I think it's time we move on to, I don't know.
Well, Sponge and I have been discussing the idea of making a team, so maybe I'll just retire from
making
casting.
a team, a players team.
So I'll maybe retire from casting and I'll
Do you
just
need
do
a
that with
coach?
them. Yes, maybe we do.
Okay. Well, I don't know anyone. Screamy, he's going to get 1 kill. It's going to be Rubino and MSL immediately to follow it up, though, as the Pistols, or rather the Force Buy. I totally expected Pistols at this point because you said eco, but it is going to be the Force Buy, not able to prevail at this point in time. It's going to be Shox walking back in through the door. He does actually make it work with the flash. Stays alive long enough. You thought he might be able to slip around triple or find a second kill to platform. Hasn't done it. The jump scout distracts long enough for RPK, who gets more space inside of the site, but MSL times the peak. And now they've got the lead. And now we've got an even worse situation. Surely they've got an eco here.
They should have ecoed the last round. What was the point in that? Famises, scouts, and pistols.
Go to $2,000 best right now because you're gonna have a max loss bonus, obviously.
Yeah, like this is.
Here we go again.
Okay, this is how you lose the game. This is how you do it right here, right now. Unless someone goes absolutely wild I guess that's right. They don't even want to think about overtime. That's fine, but
Tilt.
it's a pretty weird situation for them. They didn't have to do it last round, and now they're doing it again. It's going to be Scream stepping up, and he gets one, though. It's not good enough in this scenario.
Not at all, especially when you got a Smith's on a scout who's trying desperately to fire through smoke. Body, he's in a weird place. He's got no one in middle anymore. Oh, times this well, though. They go toward window. He's got one, gets outside the site. Now it gives the site up, but he's got an AK picked up, and it keeps them with the man advantage on this retake. Config, flash over, smartly doesn't peek it because Body forward of the flash, not blind, but just, oh, the jump.
What?
That's a scroll wheel mistake. Surely he hit that by accident when he swung his mouse. Regardless, he finds the kill, and he's a bit lucky to do so. Just now also going to face towards stairwell. Decent damage onto Smith.
Nice
Better
shot.
headshot onto RPK. And Dignitas now will pull back into the lead. 3 versus 2. It was a 4 versus 3 on a retake. G2 losing numbers. Just for his third and Config to close it out. It's 15-13.
I can't believe it's actually happening. Well, this is what happens when you force fire, ladies and gentlemen. Every single time you need to start hedging your bets at one point. Majestic Boys having a hell of a game here. What a play that was from him. Those frags, so important to actually win the round. 15-13, has to be a force buy again, of course. Had they just taken one of these as a save, they could have actually really salvaged this game. The auto snipers come out. There's going to be 3 snipers this time. Cajun B gets one for the door. They've done damage to Smiths as well. He's dropped. This is it. After a 12-3 first half, G2 are about to drop this map, not winning more than 1 round on the second half. What the hell is going on? How does this keep happening time and time again? Scream doing what he can in the B bomb side. Does manage to take one down. Looking for the second as well. Could find something as Config does drop him. Scream just fighting for his team's life here.
He's still got a chance in this as well. Scream's up to 4 kills. He's done so well to dance around the double stack. As if it's too little too late. Not for Scream. He just waits forever to make it happen. And now we got a game as RPK. He'll find Cajun B with a late flank. Thanks, Scream. Thanks for showing up.
How is this real life?
31 kills for Scream right now, by the way.
The first 2 picks. They've got 3 snipers tagging everyone. Then Scream finds an ace.
4,
sorry.
Let's be clear.
Might as well be an ace. How much it meant to the team, right? Still, what the hell was that?
31 kills for Scream. It almost seems like it's gone unnoticed because of how quiet the second half has been, but he's been the one to get consistent frags. And it's Scream that's tagged this time. Maybe for the best. It's not Body, but it is Scream who's just come up large, so it's a problem. Config going to try and go toward the catwalk right now. Clears the stairs because they have put RPK there already in this half, so they have to consider it at least a little bit.
Right then. Well, all roads lead here for G2. They can find this round, everything's reset, we go to overtime. Dignitas really want to avoid that. It's cost them so much energy to actually get to this stage. It's been a perfect performance for the likes of Majestic Boys. Well, going towards mid this time. Still a limited buy from the CTs. No AWPs, no order snipers. Just going to be holding up with the Famises and M4s. Boy, Scream's low as well. Body tries to bait himself in. I'm not sure the terrorist saw him drop that, but Config gets the first kill, takes down Smiths.
And Body just waiting for anyone to push.
Where was Smiths? He's actually dead towards mid doors. Did he push off short and try to get behind them? He's right by the mid doors where he died.
That's pretty ridiculous. There's been a lot of times we've seen tonight people dying in odd positions. Yeah, I think he must have been. I'm not sure. I think he pushed out to watch on lower. French Rambo. And we know he likes to take that peek. So RPK, he's going to go down. That's such an easy angle. Like I said, everybody knows that angle. If you've played Deathmatch for 10 minutes on Matchmaking Deathmatch, you know how to, or Valve Deathmatch, you know how to cover that angle. Config, he's going to get the shot into Shocks, and as we said from Scream, too little too late, we get all 30 rounds, but we're not getting anything more than that. Body 1 versus 4. Bomb's going to be planted, low HP on the person doing so, Rubino, and if his head shows...
Don't do it, boys. Not like this. Just win the round. Don't give him a chance. Make him defuse before he even sees any of you.
Well, they are going to walk up behind him. He's got one. Majisk, he's found. He's got a chance, but Cajun B. He'll close it out. Dignitas, 12-3 down to the first half. They come back and win it 16-14. And as you said, we're sick of saying it. We're sick of talking about it. G2 sucks on the CT side online.
Online, it seems like I can't...
Online, it wasn't even that great. It was just better.
The thing is, if you know you're not in great form online with the CT stuff, why are you force buying all the time?
I think that was tilt. I think at that point that was tilt.
Yeah, of course it was, but it's like, even like I said, like, you know this is a problem, right? Historically, you've struggled on these CT halves, so when you have that 12-3 lead, let's just say, right, should we just give ourselves the best chance of winning this game? Second round, let's just take a full eco here. Let's make sure they have the first gun round, let's have the AWPs, let's have the incendiaries, let's have kits. They're going to first gun round, 5 M4s, no kits, no incendiaries. They drop that, a couple of ecos later, they're not getting any rounds on the board at all. They're not getting anything together. The double AWPs header comes up towards the end. Still not enough at that stage. Then it's what, 15,
15, 13.
14, 12 or something like that, right? And
What are you talking about with Scream?
no, when they had the advantage, they started throwing it away. When they
Right, yeah. When it was like 4 versus 3.
Yeah, they started
Yeah.
then they started force buying into it. Then they had 2 rounds still to breathe. They're still force buying, getting scouts and pharmacists. You could have taken a full eco there and actually given yourself a chance to get it together. But anyway,
that's ridiculous.
I can talk
can't
about this
understand.
game all day long. I'm
Do
not in
it,
position to.
Henry, do it.
We've paid some guys over there to do it. So Alex, please, would you do the honors? Thank you. Goodbye.
I would happily do the honors. Right, thank you very much from Henry and Matt. That's them done for another day. And now we have the opportunity to close out the show. First, we have to talk about this game, though. And I think Matt summarized it so beautifully, is that we are so tired of talking about it. But it is, again, the main point of discussion. 12-3 lead. G2 go into their CT side, needing just, I can do maths, 4 rounds.
Nailed it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, GCSEs. What have you got for me, Sponge? This is just, they said it comes down to tilt, admittedly, maybe once you've conceded like 6 or 7 rounds, but this is unjustifiable. Your words actually just before we came on were they need a coach.
Yeah, there's a coach on the market now.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab that guy. Get him to fix your
sounds
CT.
great, yeah.
Yeah, maybe flash for each other once in a while. Maybe take some jewels as a team. Try that stuff. See how that works for you.
But they're so competent on their T side.
I think maybe they try and play their CT side too individually. Maybe try and actually work together. See how that work goes for you.
Okay.
You know?
Because
I don't know.
there was that infamous clip that someone got of Shock saying, if you see your teammate in a fight, go help them out. You know, he did this big motivational
Yes.
speech
Oh,
at
it
one
was
of the
good. It was
events.
good, yeah.
Everyone loved it. But to be fair, that's a big thing that's missing from their CT side. They do fight individually. Like, the trades were so good for Dignitas every single time. Like, if Magic went down, Config was there. If Config went down, Magic constantly getting these opening kills and constantly working these sides incredibly well. But outside of that, there was nothing else to look at.
It's really weird. I noticed, like, when Dignitas were hitting B, the crossfires that were set up by G2, they weren't crossfires. They were kind of just picking from 2 separate angles, and both of them were dying. Like, they weren't taking jewels and lining up players and stuff. It was just fighting one at a time, and they couldn't really help each other from the angles they were playing.
Another point worth making, of course, alongside that is we always sing Smith's praises on this particular map. He always has an affinity with this, with the AWP, and he was not present on their CT side. I think I looked at the end, it was 2 kills on his defensive side.
And to be fair, Cajun B didn't have the biggest game either.
No.
Another highlight point, and for me, it was more Magisk and Config who took the headlines there. MSL was holding his own to a degree. I don't think he was particularly a standout player, but he was perfectly fine. Middle of the board for me there. But yeah, Config and Magisk having a really nice game today.
Yeah, Dignitas do pick up a much needed win as well. They're going to be leveling out now. 5 wins, 5 losses. I'm sure they're not going to be complaining about that. Actually looks better than their adversaries G2 currently standing in the Pro League. We'll be bringing up the standings a little later on. But just a couple of closing thoughts. It does feel weird to try and give credit to G2's T side, but I do want to quickly touch on the fact that they were hitting B a little more often than we were anticipating. Was there anything special, or was that literally just the G2 way, you know, the BDP, just walk out on B and take the fights? Was there anything kind of particularly arousing for
really
you? I said arousing. Was there anything arousing
Is there
for you,
anything
Chad?
arousing for you, Chad?
No, nothing
Nothing there.
Okay.
No, there was
Nothing
no
aroused you.
GB James plays, unfortunately.
And on that bombshell, beautiful stuff. That was the game, set, and match. Dignitas going and making it 1-1 after finding victory after staring down the barrel of a 12-3 deficit. Insane to see. But of course, that wasn't the only game played today. Let's have a quick recap of how this game did go down, or rather this day. It has been week 4, match day 14. They are flying by. We did start with Fnatic VP, and VP put up a damn good fight on Cobble, albeit under slightly technical circumstances. We did have a nice delay, and that's why you guys are with us late into the evening. Fnatic and VP met on Dust2 following that one, and it was a much less close affair, excuse me. Following that one, you did get to see the same 2 maps, this time played with 2 very different teams. The French and the Danes did clash upon Cobble and Dust2, and we saw that split just 16-13. Off stream, much more excitement for Heroic as they managed to push Penta into an overtime, but unable to close things out, and FaZe conceding 2 games back to back. That's what's so insane. We were kind of giving their credit and suggesting they had, you know, some good running in the Pro League, but I mean, look at that. Not even making 10 rounds over 2 maps. That's insane. Good to see Mousesports in good form, especially given their coaching change recently.
Shows he wasn't actually adding that much, right?
Hey man, 2 online games, you bite your tongue. But as you can see, guys, that's still going on. So when we do disappear, you'll have an opportunity to go catch that on our B stream. We said we'd show you the standings, and now we can. Those extra 2 losses for FaZe are going to make that 7 look rather scary and intimidating. The highest number on the losses I can see, in fact, apart from Flipside.
G2.
Oh, you're so smart, and my eyes are small. My eyes are small? My eyes are...
eyes are small.
Wow.
Is there anything else, Chad, as you run your eyes down there? Any surprises, or does that kind of read as you would expect currently?
Flipside being 0 for 8 is very telling. Yeah.
Astralis 4-6.
Yeah, towards the bottom end.
Yeah.
Virtus have won more games this season than last, I believe.
Yep.
Or they're close.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I would say the middle of the table is actually pretty close overall. Just Na'Vi's going to break ahead eventually once they start actually playing more games. Let's bear in mind they're the only one of the only teams to not drop a single game yet, and they look incredibly strong online at this point.
Yeah.
Of course, the offline events recently show that there are a couple of flaws with them at the moment. They're not completely robust just yet, but yeah, you're going to start seeing the table start to split apart soon.
Yeah, I mean, Henry was talking about earlier. It's a process for Na'Vi getting simple, comfortable in his new role. Now, though, we do move to North America because it's not done yet. You've got more to look forward to. It's going to be the Selfless Pride Roaring versus NRG, and that's going to be the first game to be shown on the North American stream. Alongside that one, you get Complexity versus Immortals, and on the second stream, you'll get an opportunity to see Splice and a team called Renegades. I don't know if you've
La Renegades.
have you heard of that organization
I've heard
before?
of them
You have.
before.
Awesome. And of course, Echo and that's good. Organic Gaming.
Those COD players.
Optic Gaming, yeah.
Those
I'm well
COD
aware
players.
of them. So that's not what's going on in North America. Go check them out. That'll be their Matchday 15. Man, North America is starting to look a little dicey. Coming up tomorrow, you get your NIP Astralis game. That's going to be awesome. It does seem to be a bit of a curse going on between the Danes and that Swedish roster. Of course, we saw them very recently. And Mouse Sports, this time on the mainstream, we get to see if they can replicate the success they found today. Of course, versus FaZe, this time versus Envy. More Dust2 to be played as well. This has been ESL Pro League Week 4, Matchday 14. It's been a great pleasure to bring it to you. Of course, great to have you here on the desk, Chad. We're seeing more of you tomorrow as well. Get some rest, tuck yourself in tight. We'll be doing all the same and more tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Neither can I. Right, we're going to go ahead and disappear. Thank you so much for joining us. And one last reminder to check out the Score Esports application as well. If you just joined us and you're sitting there going, wait, what? I missed all the action. You can get all the information you need on your smartphone. You don't even have to be at your PC to get updates, news, articles, and statistics. So you go grab that and we're going to disappear. When we do come back tomorrow, you have an opportunity to see what Mouse Sports can do and more. So we hope to see you then.